I want to say hello in the offices of Arye Elfenbein, who is here to show me what is happening over here. And I'm able to try cultivated fish, seafood, salmon for the very first time. What do you use for your cell lines and how prolific can those be?
Yeah, these are great questions. The cell lines that we use, it actually, everything that you tried today and everything that you saw came from one fish about 3.5 years ago. And we haven't, one fish. We actually haven't needed to go back to the animal for salmon since that time. And in terms of what we feed these cells, this has been a really fascinating part of the journey of Wildtype, is learning what these cells need to thrive. In some ways, they're similar to what fish need. And so it's things like sugars and fats and amino acids so that they can make proteins and some trace minerals. And that's really what we feed them. And so in the tanks that you saw today, those are the ingredients that go into feeding these cells, and they continue to grow. And in theory, they can just continue to grow. And so your question of, how long can this go out? That this is something that theoretically that one fish could actually feed the world.
So that's incredibly sustainable. So you think about one fish, and then also think about the other things that happen with the fish. So if you have commercialization of fish, which means you have lots of commercial fishing, and by that I mean you're not wild fishing. You're controlling fish in one area. They're all pooping in the same area. All that poop of lots of fish. So the volume of fish that you need to 7.7 billion people on the planet. So the volume of fish that you need to feed 7.7 billion people on the planet, all concentrated poop in one area. There's lots of reasons. And then you have to feed those fish antibiotics because they're all living together, which means they're all sick together. So you got to, there's lots of reasons that this kind of mass commercialization doesn't make sense. If you take all of that out and you're living with, enough fish potentially from one cell line to feed the world, is that right? Have I understood that correctly?
I mean, that's how it begins. Certainly, in order to feed that fish, and those fish cells, we need to source all of the ingredients that will enable it to thrive. And that's a separate set of supply chains, but ones that are more efficient than feeding fish for 2 years for them to sort of swim around in a fish farm before harvest. There are a lot of inherent efficiencies in the ways that we produce it